Hi guys and my beautiful angels. Welcome to my Q&A. I've collected it on my Instagram and we're here at the Royal Botanic Garden in Melbourne, Australia. So let's get into it.
All right.
What are your favorite books you've read so far? So I love You Are a Badass. I feel like that's a good book to start with. It's really light, it's really overall covering everything general, and it's specifically written for women. But if you're a man, I would say Atomic Habits, Unleash the Giant Within by Tony Robbins is also my favorite. Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That is such a good book. You have to pick it up. It's so funny. It's so impactful in your life. How long have you been in Melbourne for? I've been in Melbourne for 16 years. Believe it or not, I know time flew, but I came here when I was 20. I'm 36 now, and I call this country my second home. Do you celebrate Khmer New Year? Khmer is another word for Cambodian. For those of you who don't know, I'm half Cambodian, half Chinese, and I migrated here when I was 20. And do I celebrate Khmer New Year? 100%. And the best way to do it is when you're in Cambodia, when you're in Khmer, and actually celebrate it the right way. We call it Songkran, and we have a countrywide water fight, and this happens in April, usually 14, 15, 16, 17, and you can play like a few days before and a few days after. You will get sprayed on and completely wet. It's like free for all. Free for all. It doesn't matter how well dressed you are. If you're out during that time, look out.
All right.
What is your favorite foundation? Okay, I have a few. Makeup Forever, Dior, Backstage, and at the moment Rare Beauty, and Fenty Beauty as well. Favorite Cambodian dish? I love Li Hao. This is one of the things that most people don't like because it's not the most hygienic thing to eat, but I really love it. It's so good. What is your backstory in building your own cosmetic brand? What are the challenges? I'm gonna keep it short because I could go on forever. I started with just Googling. Believe it or not, I Googled how to start cosmetic brand and keep YouTubing and keep chasing one lead to another, because when you're a startup, it can be really hard, being the new kid on the block and going knocking on doors. My challenges would be that I don't have any background when it comes to cosmetics or anything like that. So I felt like I was vulnerable to being taken advantage of, like people ripping me off, saying they could do things and they didn't really deliver. And these are unfortunately some of the things that we have to do and go through when you're building your own cosmetic brand, or any brands really. What is your book about? My book is about, think of it as the antidote for people pleaser, right? If you're a people pleaser, this book is for you, especially women. I said it to my friend earlier today, and I'm gonna tell you, nice guys finish last, good girls don't finish at all. So that's why I wrote the book, because everybody needs to build a little bit of that backbone and just like, boundaries. Is Piyané a Khmer name? Yes and no. Né is a Khmer name. Piyané as a whole isn't. My dad thought he was clever to name me and then put an accent on top of my name and called it a day. Like, yes, that name is French. I now learned that it's actually not, because I went to Paris, I went to France, and it's not French at all. So yes and no. The word Né at the end is Cambodian. Next question. How do you manage work and family commitments? Well, this one is a tricky one, because people keep saying that you must have a balance between your personal life and your professional life. There will always be some day where your professional life will be overtaking a bit more and you're spending a little bit less time with your family. And there will be time when you're just like, you know what, today I'm just gonna shut down and stay with my family and not work at all. So for a lot of people, it's like they try to balance it in a 24 hours window. Whereas for me, I like to think of it as like a weekly or a monthly thing, where I would rather have a full weekend where I'm totally immersive with my child, with my family, with my loved ones, and not having to worry about work. Or I would like to have like a whole week of me just concentrating on work and, you know, not really worrying about my family as much. I feel like this is my balance. It doesn't always work for everybody, but for me as an entrepreneur, as an investor, as a content creator now as well, it's just so much to juggle. So I like to plan it out in a weekly time rather than just a 24 hours thing. So I'm writing a book called Good Girl, and it's coming out in August. Through seminars and books I've read and everything, I've gone through a period of time where I would write down everything that is meaningful in my life. And I found out the 5 pillars in life. So for me, the 5 pillars cover pretty much everything that is meaningful and fulfilling for me. So the first one is physical. So it's not just personal life. It's like, you know, you have to build yourself from within with physical strength, mental health, and emotional and community, and spirituality, and also finance. So you can see that in these 5 pillars, it's covered pretty much everything from your personal life to your professional life, because to me, it's no different. For me, professional life is just about work ethics, about showing up, it's about like, you know, commitment, right? But it still has to come from my passion. It still has to align with my core. It still has to align with my spirit, what fulfills me, what you know, what fills my cup. How is it like transitioning from Cambodian household society to where you are now? Well, she asked Cambo household. That's sort of like short for Cambodian. Transition wise is, okay, this is a long story, but I'm going to keep it short. I write about this comprehensively in my book. To be honest with you, transition isn't easy. Change is never easy. Being uncomfortable is never easy. Moving and uprooting everything that you know, because I was growing up in Cambodia for 20 years. And then coming to Australia, I was really self-conscious about my accent, the way I look, the way I dress, the way I talk, slangs I use, you know, because most of the slangs that I picked up on was from Friends. And I don't know if you know the sitcom Friends, but that's like my favorite TV show of all time. So I watched that and I would pick that up and I would use it here, and people would look at me funny. I came here with American accent. So it's not always easy, but as time goes on, it gets easier. It does get easier. The most important thing though, that I always keep in mind is to keep my loved ones really close, is to keep people who support you, who love you, who will be there for you. And I think that is the hard part from moving and transitioning from one household, one society, one country to another, is to find that support network. And this I talk about as well in my book. This is not, by the way, a promo for the book, but just saying that it's part of the journey is to find your community. When are you coming to Brazil? To be honest, I was planning to go to South America this year, but I think the time is quite short now because my schedule is really crazy and hectic. So I won't be coming to Brazil anytime soon, maybe next year. But I'll be going to America, I'll be going to Europe, and I'll be going to Iceland is where I'm gonna be going. I'm very excited about. What is your comfort food? Noodle soup, wonton soup, Cambodian dishes, congee. That's when I'm thinking of food I would eat when I'm like sick. But when I'm in Australia, Nando's is one of them as well. So there are so many things that I like to eat. I'm not, as much as my friends like to think I'm a fussy eater, I'm not. I'm actually quite easygoing with my food, but I just don't eat a lot, so I just kind of nitpick on everything. Weight and height. So I think this is quite personal, but I'm just gonna say anyways. 56, 57 kilos, and my height is 167, 168, depending on, you know, how my hair is sitting. I always think I'm not good enough. I always compare myself to others. That is the quickest way to land yourself in a deep pit of depression, because that's all I did, was to compare myself to others. And when we have social media as well, it's really easy for you to just scroll through and then just like, wow, this person just did this person went there. And it's really easy to fall into that trap. So when you caught yourself comparing yourself to others or feeling sad, feeling down, I think social media has to go. Just put it away or delete the app. I feel you though, because I've been there. How do you deal with your shadow side spiritually? So for those of you who don't know, I've done a lot of light work, I've done a lot of shadow work, and that is a spiritual thing, and has nothing to do with religions. It's about inner child healing. So when you're working on light, that's when you're working on gratitude. You're working on like past traumas, or if you've been through abuse, you're working through stuff that is heavy, right? So you're trying to go into the light, but then there is this version of you, inner children, that is stuck in that stage where it's in the shadow, casted away, because at the time when she or he was there and got told that they're not good enough, that they did this wrong by their parents or whatever it is, that shadow self is stuck there in that stage. And we are moving on towards the light, trying to be grateful and all that, but this child version is stuck there. And that is, unfortunately, when you got into an argument or when something triggers you, it's never this person who's triggering you. That person is triggering that inner child within you, and that's what we call inner child or shadow self. So how do I deal with my shadow self? Is by going in there with two things: my nurturer side of things and my protector side of things. Because as a child, we need both. We need the nurturing side of things, the mother figure, and we need the protector side of things, the father figure. When we've been abused, physical abused, emotional abused, or whatever, we wish that there is someone who would stand behind us and would look after us and would stand up for us. And then when we're feeling low or small or beaten down, we need that love, nurturing side. So when we've grown up, we kind of abandon the shadow self in the background, and to work through your shadow self is to learn to conjure up this protector and the nurturer. So then these two could come together to protect the inner child, so you can reparent your inner children so they don't get triggered anymore. Overwhelming about personal growth, how to deal with it. Personal growth is a journey. You can ask a 70-year-old or 80-year-old and they're still on the growth journey. At every stage, there's always something new to learn. So stay a student, stay curious, and start today. It can be one day, I want to be this, or day one, start now. It's never too late. Just start from today with personal growth. Start small, start Googling something, a book maybe they can pick up. Ask someone if there's anything, inspire them, and then just learn every single day. Are you happy? To be honest with you, I'm gonna say something that is so controversial, but happiness is overrated. Happiness is an emotion. Just like sadness, just like anger, it doesn't last. If you're aiming to be happy all the time, you're aiming to fail, because your emotions change throughout the day. You can be happy in this moment for 5 minutes and then someone bump into your car. Suddenly your mood change, even slightly. And then you're trying to change into happiness again. That is called toxic positivity. We don't want happiness all the time. You know what we want? Peace, contentment, fulfillment, and making peace with all the emotions that we have, accepting that we are humans and it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to have emotions. So the question is, am I happy? Yes, I'm also sad, I'm also angry, I'm also grieving, I'm also worried, I'm also uncomfortable, I'm a lot of things, but I'm on the right path. I feel fulfilled, I feel content, I feel peaceful with everything that I have in my life. I feel grateful for everything I have in my life. And with that, I'd like to end the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this and if you have any more questions, please ask in the comments below. Like it and subscribe, and yeah, follow me on Instagram.
All right.